All right, let's go over crude real quick. All right, let's check out what's this morning's action so far. All right, the best setup you're going to get on J signal is when you break out of HVA or LVA on your own Ninja charts. Here it is. Here's high value area, HVA, low values in green. When you first break out, here's your best setup you're going to get when you break out, retest, and you get the signal, right? So we had that this morning. You can either do the 5 sim or the 3 sim. They both had breakout signals, breakout, retest. So the best setup you're going to get when you first break HVA or LVA, breakout, retest, and then get a signal. That's what we're working on right now. You broke out, you retest, you got a big move up. Now we got back inside of LVA, HVA, I'm sorry, for a corrective wave. So you're allowed to take your corrective wave, your breakdown. If you just test HVA or LVA, you're allowed to do a pull-in bar. So they gave a corrective wave short. Right here we're looking at corrective wave short. So there we are at that level short right there with the pull-in bar below the low, the spinning top or doji. There's your doji. There's a low. Now we're on low value area. So we're looking for a possible pull-in here above the doge. Possible pull-in at the lowest low. Right there. If you want to take that on the number 1 long. And you're looking for a move up. This one you'd want to scale quick if you took it long after the pull-in bar right here on number 1. Because of low value area, you want to scale into the symmetry dots on the first 10 ticks as we move up like it's doing right now. It's a great place to scale because we got lower support here at 51.75.78. The target on this trade is going to be 66 on the other side of profile. So you had possible 3 trades this morning so far. Here's your number 1. You take the lowest low doji or spinning top and you get to LVA or HVA. If you're in an uptrend, you buy the first test of LVA with the pull-in bar. So there's a number 1. You had a corrective wave, number 3, down into the number 1 if you want a corrective wave, which is a valid trade off market profile. Allowed to take that. And then we had the J signal number 3 over here, break HVA, continuation. So those are only 3 possible trades we had this morning so far. The only other possible support level I have, if there's your 3, would be 75.78, 51.75.78. And the other possible trade would be a break of 52.89 on a number 3 long, which would be up here also. So we'd have to break through 89.90 and get through this high for possible number 3. It'd have to get through this high this morning. Then we have a possible number 3 long up here. So that's the setups we have this morning so far. You got the number 1, just caught the low, and that's a possible 3 breakout if we break that high. So the best setup you're going to get on J signal when you break out of HVA high value area, you look for the first retest and you go long. The best trades are if you don't get back inside of LVA, HVA when you break out of it, or below LVA and don't get back inside of LVA because it shows major strength. So this one's a really easy one to pick off. All right, you want to get the first one. You don't want to worry about this stuff up here. Don't trade this junk up here where you're getting in multiple retracements up here. You can't trade any of these setups up here because it's not the first breakout above HVA or LVA. So you don't want to trade any of this stuff. You just want to trade the first breakout and retest. Best way to do it. All right? Then you get back inside of LVA, HVA, I'm sorry. So you're allowed to take a corrective wave with the pull-in bar. Now, when you're doing a pull-in bar, we can only trade off the doji and spinning top. We don't trade off these green and red bars. They mean green and red bars are not, we don't trade off of them. You got to either have a doji or spinning top one of the best setups, if you stop right on market profile on a corrective wave or a J signal, if it stops right on it and you get a pull-in bar, that is a valid setup. So that's a corrective wave into down to support right there. Then we come back down and we get into what's called low value area. The best way to trade the black charts, if the moving averages are in an uptrend, you buy the first test of the green, which is low value area, stop right almost on it, all right, with the pull-in bar, right, with the pull-in bar. It's a first test, big spread. This is called a shark bite trade, big spread, moving averages. There's your little hook right there, or they're getting out of alignment, the smaller moving average getting out of alignment. Right there's your tell. It's telling you to buy the first test of low value area. It should bounce really hard. There's big spread in here. Spread equals bread is our motto in the room. The big spread between the moving averages, and they get out of alignment, meaning this moving average starts going vertical against the overall larger moving average, tells you it's a shark bite trade. So that's a really easy one to pick off on the upside, as far as that goes. Now, if you look what's going on the next possible setup, we do have major support down here. If we're looking at the black charts, we do have major support, which would be a buy bounce at 75, 78 if we get down there. So this runner gets taken out and we don't get to the hedge fund or the opposite side of profile of 63. And what you want to do is you want to look for a long at that level. So that's going to be a long level at that level. All the way down to the next trade setup would be 75, 78 long. Okay? So those are three setups we had this morning according to J signal. The other longs are going to be down here, 78, 78, 80. I mean 75, 80, 75, 78, sorry. So the next two possible ones, let me mark them up for you. 75 would be a number one right here. So here's the next two possible setups. If it continues up, we'll look for number 3 breakout, retest long. If it continues down, look for a buy bounce off of a number 1. Okay? What happens is when you get in this corrective wave, when you get into a corrective wave like this, you get into a corrective wave, when market starts weakening, that's why that number 1 I said scale quick. If you're getting into if you did take the number 1 long, scale quick when the dots pop up, and sure enough, you got an original corrective wave here. Here's actually a qualified trade too. You're allowed to take that trade first, J signal short after getting back inside of HVA. So you got your pull-in bar or the first J signal short, either way. So these are the viable setups that you want to trade. They're all qualified trades. Number 3 breakout, broke HVA, retest HVA. There's your signal. You can trade off the 5 sim or 3 sim. They both worked this morning. These trades you don't trade at all. You don't trade any of this stuff up here because you like the first retracement. Don't trade any of that stuff up here because you can't take a short up here because you can't short above HVA anyway. But then you get below HVA, high value area, stops right on it. You're allowed to take a pull-in bar if it stops exactly right on it and doesn't exceed it, HVA when you get back inside of it, or LVA. Then we come down to number 1 on the first test. You're allowed to take a pull-in bar. There's your lowest low doji. Then it comes up here. I said this is a great place to scale because of the lower support at 75, 78. Then we come into another corrective wave, which is this is actually the first Fibonacci dots on a corrective wave, which is valid. And now the next setup, we're going to come all the way down to number 1, 75, 78. If the market does roll over, now I do have a possible number 1 sell setup when I eventually do roll over at 65. It's going to be very aggressive, though, because we're in a hard uptrend. So your bias is going to be buy a number 1, buy a breakout at number 3. Okay? So that's how we do things in here, guys and gals. Where's my number 1? Where's my number 3? But if you look, if you notice, your major trades are off profile. This number 3 is a major trade. This number 3 is a major trade. Why? because these two major spots right here are the two biggest inflection points this morning so far. You're trading a break retest on profile. These are the two major trading points this morning off of market profile according to J signal. The other two major points that we're going to trade off of this morning would be these two. This one, which is the number one bounce. Off the black charts would be here. These would be the black charts top trades. Black chart top trade there. Black trade top chart here. I'm sorry, trade here. That one. And this one down here. So if you're trading the black charts, oops, these would be your top trades off the black charts this morning so far. So J signals highlighted in blue. Those are your J signal trades. And these are the black chart trades off of number one, number three. Because remember, you have two setups on the black charts. You're going to have a number one, which is a deep pullback with 5-minute trend, and we don't counter trend trade off the black charts. Only pullback trade bounces with pull-in bars within 2 ticks. All right? Where number threes, J signal trades are off market profile. They got to be off market profile here. Okay? So that's the difference between the black and the J signal charts. J signal charts are very simply trade off the profile in your own ninja charts. You break out, look for the first retest. Break down, back inside. If it's against 5-minute trend, that's called a corrective wave. Look for a retest. All right, so this is a motive wave to the upside. This is a corrective wave to the downside. Very, very simple. Now with the black charts, we don't counter trend trade, right? So we look for a buy pullback in the first test of low value area, which is green, or a hedge. Hedge is the dash line. When it comes within 2 ticks, look for a pull and bar in your 3 Rico chart off the doji spinning top. All right, and then you scale out, see if the runner is going to hold. If it doesn't hold, you can go down to the next support level. All right, before you turn this off, Gerald, let me say one more thing. I get a lot this all the time. What do you trade, this chart or this chart, the price versus volume? Whichever one comes first, if they're within 10 ticks, take the outer edge one. You take the first one that comes up to.